From the KO Disc Golf Show, and I'm here alongside Kirby Snyder, and we are doing commentary for the TerRon Open, a KO Disc Golf Show classic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and consider early access, only $1 a month, and get to see a lot of great content early. Don't forget to get a fast grip towel. Here's our card today. We got Kirby Snyder, Ryan Guiher, and Caleb Joyner. Shout out the ECD boys there. 100 hours of content.
A couple of ECD teammates on the card today. Pleasure to have Caleb and Ryan Guiher on the card with me. Big thank you to Tyler Schrock and Jim Hansen for hosting the event. And thank you to Justin Banks and Fairway Media for being out there and recording all weekend. Such a beautiful course.
Yeah, the course is looking amazing. The nature's looking amazing. This is going to be a great round. Goat sighting. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting round. Going to see if anyone can catch up to Kirby here.
Yeah, hole one here, we're going to be playing from the blue pads during round two. So hole one here, 210-foot par 3. It's going to be a really, really sharp hyzer out of the hand. You want to elevate the disc while avoiding this branch that's kind of hanging, kind of just diagonal across the fairway from you. I'm going with a C-line glow drop and just trying to get it high and avoiding that first tree right there.
Yeah, I feel like we saw you throw this drop exactly a lot in the first round. And so, yeah, I'm going to see you pull it out here, hole one, and lace it up there and get you a putt.
Yeah, super consistent, super reliable. This is Ryan. I'm not too familiar with his game. I haven't gotten to play with him too often or too much before. Really great forehand. You can see here, kind of definitely a unique line that I don't feel like many people are throwing. So really interesting to see him pull that out hole one.
Yeah, you don't really, even as a person who throws the forehand a lot, I don't even think about doing that too much, but it definitely could be more of an approach shot for a forehand where you really work out. And we're going to see you, just chain right. A little
nervy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little nervy on the first hole. I know I got a few strokes to not necessarily like play with, but I know I got a few strokes where I don't have to make every single putt early on, but definitely, you always want to start the round with a birdie nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely want to start around with a birdie, as Caleb does here. You were going toe-to-toe with Caleb all the way up until the end, so go check out to see how that finishes in round one, but definitely don't want to give anything to a player like Caleb.
No, he can get so hot so quickly, and he's such a dominant putter that, if he's within 40, 45 feet, which is not impossible to do out here at Fenwick, he's going to have a chance at birdies.
Hole 2, par 3, 325. Going up the path here in the hole on the left, OB right, as seen there with the wood. And we got the basket guarded by some bushes. We're going to have Caleb teeing off first.
Pretty sure he's going with a Star Destroyer. It might be a recycled, like one of those Echo Star Destroyers. A little low, got cut out to the left, but he's in bounds, no problem. Throwing a C-line CD1, throwing it on some hyzer, getting some nice flip and some late fade right into that tree.
Yeah, it looks like it got all the way down there to that tree.
It's a pretty touchy line because you want a disc that wants to kind of flip up a little bit. If you're gonna park the hole, you do need to throw something towards the OB on the right side, which can be really scary.
Yeah, we see Ryan pulling out the forehand here, just coming up short, contesting that left side foliage. Gonna have an up and down right in the middle there.
Yeah, really fortunate kick just to kind of be dead center in the path there. Easy hyzer up to the basket.
Definitely some distance, but I feel like we've seen Caleb hit before from there, so always deadly.
Yeah, he's using that yellow magic. That's his mountain putter that he used when he was winning, or when he won the Mountain High Championship. So you'll see him bust out between that and a weight P2 all day today.
You see, you convert the birdie here, definitely getting a stroke there. Only 2 birdies on the day for the field here, so definitely taking some strokes there. Other birdie was SeaTac Zach, so shout out to him.
Mr. Resiska. So good to see him this weekend. Hole 3 here, 310-foot par 3. One of the scariest and probably most dangerous holes on the course in terms of getting a bogey. There's an OB on the right side that we were just playing along on hole 2. So anything that hits that hillside, if you don't hit the hillside really gently, you can kind of filter down towards the OB. Going with a soft tactic with the intention of hitting the hill and maybe kind of grabbing onto a fern a little tighter. But I'm just kind of finding the path the whole way down, and pretty fortunate to get stopped by that beam down there.
Yeah, easy to happen with this hillside here. Just such a deadly green. Like, really need a disc to hit and stick. Caleb finding the hillside, but luckily hitting on top of the path there will leave him a longer putt, but executing the shot shape, but not as much the length. And we're going to see Ryan here giving it a forehand or a backhand hyzer here.
Yeah, I think Caleb is just about at the drop zone down there. I am kind of using my entire sheet of paper that you have behind your mini there to give myself a little room on that right side to find that gap. Pretty fortunate that it just hit the base and stuck there.
And as he asks, it does. Caleb asking the disc to drop as it does into the basket. This man, no drop zone, Tweeds Cafe, cap on.
Yeah, he asked me before he threw that putt if he happens to roll OB down the hill, if he has to take it down there or if he has to immediately go to the drop zone. And we were kind of figuring it out, and he goes, you know what, I'm just going to make it, don't worry about it, and goes over and cans it. It was pretty awesome, honestly. It was really, really cool to see him do that.
Call your shots, call your highlights. Caleb Joyner, one of those players, one of those ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Terry and Ron, because they put that beam down there and all the improvement they've done to the course. So if it wasn't for them and putting that beam down there, that's an OB stroke for me. So thank you, Terry and Ron.
Yeah, of course, looking immaculate. Hole 4 here, par 3, 160 feet. A short hole, just uphill, wanting the disc to hit that right side gap and settle. There's some danger on the right and danger on the left. I don't want to go too long as well.
Yeah, really nice shot from Caleb. That's a P3X. I'm going back to that drop that I threw on hole 1 and hit this so much cleaner than I hit round 1. If you saw round 1, which I encourage you to go and see, hit the tree and ricocheted right and was super scared about falling all the way down the hill.
Get Ryan early left of the tree, but might be working its way up right to the tree, so should be a putt down there if it didn't get it down the hill. We see.
Yeah, we heard it hit a tree, and we weren't too sure how far down there it was, and he actually was closer to the pin than Caleb and I was.
Wow.
Yeah, he snuck up on that left side. Definitely not the intended line, but if you're up there and you're shooting pretty straight, pretty clean, it's all right.
Gets the birdie. Star frame. Love it, love it, love it.
Hole 5 here, 325-foot par 3. One of the biggest things you gotta watch out for is this tree here in the middle of the fairway. If you can manage to wrap around that right side or left side, there's a Mando over to the left, and avoid the trees on the right there. And it's really just a simple hyzer if you can manage to weave and bob your way through everything you need to. But getting past that tree in the middle, that's going to be objective number 1. Caleb's going with a Halo Destroyer here. You're going to see him bust us out a handful of times today.
This is definitely a part of the course where we see a lot of other holes and baskets and cards teeing off, so interesting part of the course where kind of ties the first 4 holes into the rest of it.
Yeah, really great utilization of that space. Every hole kind of has its own distinct fairway. Got a little lucky on that one. Throwing that beat up MD4, and when Caleb hit the tree, I was worried about hitting the tree, so I swung it a little wide, but got lucky on that backside.
Oh, it hits early, going left, OB.
Yeah, it's gonna miss the Mando that's up there.
Just some Fenwick boys.
Little chase card check in.
Some Fenny guys doing Fenny guy things. Oh,
Yeah. It's a PD2. I think I really like that play. I just think he should have thrown that a little lower and tried to like get in front of that stuff and then skip it over instead of trying to get too much air underneath it. But all in all, I think that was a wise play.
getting him to a long putt. Ryan getting a little short on his approach from the drop zone, and Caleb going real high through the trees. Not happy with that contest. I see Ryan lining up his putt here for bogey.
Just a little high. It's a good run all in all, though. It's kind of a tricky drop zone because it kind of sets up that forehand flex, but you really gotta commit to it and throw it maybe a little harder than you want to.
Yeah, just a little low there. Finding the cage. Going to be taking the par. Still taking a stroke on this lead card here, so not the worst outcome on the day. Hole 5 here was only one birdie on the day. Shout out to Eric Rodmere.
Wow, nice. Kind of surprising. I mean, it is a lot harder than round one, but still a little surprising, though.
Yeah, we had 44% of the field bogeying and 11% with the double bogey. So, yeah, definitely the hole taking the most strokes on people. Hole 6 here, par 3, 315 feet. We got the iconic boat hole of Fenwick. The disc, or the basket just placed right in the boat here. Not in the island position, but straight ahead.
I'm going back to that MD4. I'm throwing this flat to hyzer real hard, trying to avoid that tree there. And I thought I was going to hear a boat hit. I thought out of the hand, it felt really, really good. It's cool to see that land just long of the boat, or just right of it.
Yeah, I love this position Banks is in contrast to seeing both positions where he was round one. So go check that out and really get to check out Fenwick from a couple different angles.
Yeah, that's a pretty lucky, I would say, pretty lucky tree reaction for Caleb. If that doesn't kick to the right and that kicks left, that is definitely going to be in the OB circle over there. So pretty fortunate all in all.
Yeah, and good shot there by Ryan, just getting up there to give him a putt at the boat, right past that tree.
Yeah, tricky putt for Caleb. It's got that tree in front of the basket, kind of guarding it just a little bit. But he's probably about 45, maybe 50.
Wow.
Massive.
The confidence there, and you see him take that longer putt with that white disc there, and
that was his P2X.
Yeah, that P2X, super stiff, so it's just such a contrasting disc to that yellow one he has, and to see him take that one at distance just shows he knows what he's feeling that day and that how it's coming out of his hand. So that was impressive. Great get, and great get there from Ryan.
Absolutely huge for both of them.
And got you lining up your birdie look just past the boat. Cash, and another star frame for the card.
That was a really cool star frame. Definitely one you wouldn't expect when you see all three of those tee shots.
Yeah,
so.
That was 3 of the 4 birdies on the day. The only other one was SeaTac Zach, so shout out again there, getting that birdie.
Yeah, he's the man. Hole 7. This is one of the tighter gaps to hit off the tee. It's a new tee pad from the Blues that wasn't here a couple years ago. Very straight tunnel. You want to kind of get over the stump that we passed a few seconds ago. And basket's on this hillside. The ivy just to the left of the basket is a really nice little catch zone that will stop your disc from rolling down the hill there. I'm going with a Horizon Sea-Line Glacier, and I'm just going to try to punch it flat to hyzer. It was a little tighter left than I meant it to be, but pretty happy with that throw all in all anyways. Caleb's going back to his Halo Destroyer.
Interesting to see that Halo Destroyer. I feel like even a putter can really maxed out tugging along that hillside get there, but I guess from this tee position a little further back, you definitely want to be pushing something a little longer there.
Yeah, I think the idea is that if you can have a disc on hyzer the whole way, pushing over that gap, and then dump hard left into the hillside, you got a little
Celeb shot.
TerRon sighting. Yeah, Ryan's in kind of a little awkward spot over here where he wants to throw the forehand to kind of get it to flip up and loop over there.
Not happy with that. Leaking right. Definitely going down the hillside, but should be still down there, leaving him something.
Yeah, just not enough flip on the disc, really. I think that was the intention there, just to get the disc to flip over and then into the hill on the left. But this is a really tricky putt from down there. It feels like it's, I mean, 15 feet uphill from down there, so. And yeah, this is one of the best drives I've ever had on this hole. I really couldn't believe how it just kind of nestled up next to the basket like this.
Yeah, great get. Actually, the only birdie on the day, so a great get to have.
Yeah, I got hole 7 both days, so that feels pretty cool. One of the tougher birdies.
Hole 8, we got a par 3 400 foot, the longest hole on the course here. So we're going to be going through the little ravine on the right there, elevated basket guarded by the stone wall. Really want to get something as straight as you can for as long as you can through these gaps here.
Yeah, there's an OB line and some stakes on the right side that you really want to try to avoid. So, yeah, this is a swirly S-line PD2, just real high out of the hand. I didn't get it turned enough. So I was afraid of the OB on the right, but that's a fine result. Solid tree kick. Caleb putting everything he's got into that DD3.
Yeah, definitely when you're playing this more short technical style course, it's going to ask you to not throw those distance shots when you get up to 400 feet. It's totally changing your game and how you throw the disc.
Yeah, and with the way the basket is pursed uphill at the very end there too, it feels more like a 430, more for 440, 445 style throw. The distance is so much more than just 400 flat ground.
Oh no, and gets chopped off and into that OB ravine to the right. Just the difficulty of landing left and not having a clear up and down where you really want to throw the disc as straight as you can, where if you're not thinking about parking the hole, just whatever you can straight, is clean and safe is
yeah.
Staying away from a natural OB left and the real OB right.
Yeah, not great footing over here. This is a soft tactic that I'm going to kind of throw in a little forehand flex to get up to the pin there.
You all right? You didn't get me falling? Great shot, Kirby.
Did not get you falling.
No, I felt right on my butt, dude. It was pretty funny. Caleb lining up. I want to say this is C2. This has got to be 40, 45.
And hopefully just
So
sits
close.
on that backside there, allowing him to get that.
Yeah, you can't see him, but he's right by that sawed-off part of the tree there. He's just kind of tucked under where his putter is now.
Ryan tapping out the double and Caleb tapping out the par alongside you. The entire field besides Ryan taking a par. So every eight pars and 1 double on that hole. Definitely a harder get there.
Yeah. Hole 9, 330 feet. This is such a beautiful hole to throw. These 2 little trees here make a perfect little field goal. And then these 2 wooden planks are here because there used to be big hedges and bushes that have died off. That they decided they needed to have a little more challenge there anyways. So you're at this elevated platform. The city told the course that they needed to have some kind of railing in front so people don't fall off as like a safety measure. So that's why that's there. And that kind of shows you the teeth of this hole is that even if you throw a really nice straight shot, the ceiling comes into play as well.
Yeah, definitely. The bar might make you throw a tad bit higher, but doesn't come too much into play for the most part.
Wasn't good.
Yeah, Caleb going back to that Halo Destroyer.
And we see it come into play there.
It's like you scripted that, man. So funny the way that happened. This is a really, really incredible shot, though, from down there. We were so impressed with his ability to get it that far up into the fairway. Caleb's kind of giving this a little soft bid. Just like that.
Yeah, I feel like this hole definitely the teeth get there. Incredible upshot to even allow yourself a putt at the basket from where you were after hitting that. And saving the par. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Sick par
Really
save.
incredible. Yeah, it's got to be one of the most impressive pars of the day, right?
And you,
just absolutely wild.
yeah, after taking, not having the best last few holes, wanting to make sure you come back and get that. Enjoy the commercial break. We'll see you in 30 seconds. After the tap out, of course.
Your disc golf towel sucks, but it's not your fault. For too long, companies have been rebranding ball golf towels that are too long for your bag, drag on the ground, and pick up debris while on the course. But not anymore. This is our brand new Tactical Towel System 2.0, the first ever retractable towel system designed for disc golfers by disc golfers. With our multi-layer design, you receive your waffle knit outer layer and your microfiber inner layer that will handle any debris or moisture that you will experience on the course. And with our 27-inch retractable steel braid cable, you will be bending over less, which means less back pain, more disc golf, and more fun.
Welcome back, welcome back. Hole 10, par 3, 330 feet. One of my favorite holes on the course. Kind of a crazy, crazy shot to get down, going downhill the entire way into this gully where the basket sits right outside of it, actually. And we got a goofy guy and a goat near the basket there on that fly through.
Yeah, one of the tighter gaps to hit on the course. I think the safe play is to let a disc kind of get through that initial gap there and then be bleeding right. That's a little lower than I intended. I think if that's a few feet higher, I'm really, really pumped about that drive, but pretty okay with where it finished out. Caleb going to a C-line Halo Cloudbreaker, and tough spot to finish, or tough spot to hit.
Brian lining up the forehand here. This is the gap I sometimes go. It's just it's definitely fun. It's hard a shot, demanding 400 plus feet of forehand in the air, like straight in the air, basically.
Yeah, I heard some people talking about that shot afterwards, and how if you throw a bad shot down this tunnel and you kick left, you're going to be where that shot's going to finish if you throw a poor shot that way anyways as well.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of a little like you're going to end up on that left side no matter what. You might as well do it by your own choosing.
Pick your poison.
Yeah. I got pretty far up to the basket, actually. I was a little closer than I thought I was. Yeah, just a little putter flick up to the basket. That was with his Halo Destroyer. He's just jump putting Halo Destroyers for par saves. Pretty incredible.
That went right through, yeah. Yeah. What happened?
Would have been sweet, though.
That's been like fairway media first. Destroyer par save.
Destroy your par save?
Hole 11, 360-foot par 3. This is from the back tee pad. The basket is just behind this tree here on our right. It's a decent, it's uphill. From where you are, it's still a little uphill. From where you are on the tee pad, still a touch uphill. Very straight, though. Ideally, have a disc that finishes a little left to right is perfect. I'm going with a C-line CD1 and just a little early left out of the hand. Luckily, I got through that tree and up to the next hillside, so I will have a pretty easy up and down.
Yeah, so many of these holes in Fenwick will test your shots with height and control and nose control, and just making sure you release the disc at the right point, where you see shots get hit down going too high, we see shots too low, not hitting the elevation. such a hard course to kind of manage that.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of different tools in the bag. Caleb just not getting over enough on that. That was really the only issue there, but he did find that hillside. He'll be down that hill.
Get in. Oh my God. On the bridge.
Yeah, hit the top band. That was pretty sweet. A nice little like hyzer flip jumper. Pretty cool.
Giving it a run from there with that forehand. Should be near the basket, and Caleb in the bushes. Spinny effort. Almost hidden banks.
Yeah, little pitch up shot there. Yeah, actually, we were joking ahead of time. Banks was like, "You want to put this on the bridge behind it," and then hitting the band and ricocheting off onto the bridge. I was like, "Oh, all right, here we go." So, but yeah, this is about the time where I'm starting to count how many holes are left and how many strokes I have over the field. You know, ideally, I'll have like I'm going to start to feel comfortable when I have as many strokes as holes, or I have more strokes than holes are left in the tournament, is where I start to kind of get comfortable and, you know, not relax, but take it a little easier. So
only 2 birdies on hole 11 there. Hole 12, we have a par 3 265 downhill, downhill we go. The basket sitting on a sloped hillside, asking the disc to just kind of go straight and be hyzering kind of the whole time. Once you get through, they call this the pull hole, as you see the pull down the fairway. Kirby's just going left of.
yeah, it's a Flex 3 P2, so just a little overstable, really straight. Basically, the whole intention of this hole is to throw that little backhand hyzer and then just wait and see if you can see the disc rolling down the hill or not. And after 4 or 5 seconds, if you don't see it rolling, you probably had a really good shot. Caleb's making the same, I'm going to just say it, he's making the same mistake that he made round 1, where he's taking that zone SS and he's just kind of hammering on it down the gap, and he ends up pretty long of the pin again.
He has a really incredible skill with throwing those little more understable discs on a hyzer, so see what he was trying to do, but definitely a little too much power, very touchy shot that it does create with what he's doing.
Yeah, I was joking with him. I was like, you went 200 feet long on a 265-foot hole.
Just left chains.
Yeah, tough. I mean, that tree was in his way, so it's definitely a tough putt from over there.
See a tap out from curb here. Caleb getting up the hillside.
Pretty fortunate landing. You can see how steep that hill is. So if the putter's not coming in soft, or it doesn't come in on the right angle, it's going to take off down that hill, and, you know, just another adding strokes, another putt. Hole 13, downhill, 310-foot par 3. Basket's going to be to the left in the trees there. I think there's one gap that's in the trees to the left that you can hit, or you can kind of ride the fairway down and just kind of hyzer in. Going back to that drop on just with a little bit of anhyzer for some turn, and that's going to be long of the basket, but really, really happy with riding down the fairway the whole way.
Yeah, really holding that anhyzer angle the whole way down there, but still showing the stability of not turning over on that disc. It looks like
Caleb throwing, yeah, basically this the same shot. He ended up finishing right next to me. He's going with he went with like a regular zone on that one, so little goat sighting on the left there.
a little early inside, and going to be rolling down the fairway in the middle, so going to be finding exactly where you want to be for a putt for hitting early.
I know.
Tight little gap for Caleb to putt through. Actually, the gap opened up a little better for me than it did for Caleb. Just that foot was the biggest difference there. Brian, pretty fortunate finish. Really nice run, though.
Good run, started the roll away, but luckily gets hit up by a tree. He'll just have a little straddle out, most likely. I'll be able to take his putt regularly. Yeah, tough
Pretty
round
routine
so far, so you can just see the motion kind of. Caleb tapping out his par. Hole 13 played as only one birdie on the day. So shout out to Jason Kenway for getting the birdie on hole 13 there. Hole 14, we got a par 3, 310 feet. Basket right behind that giant tree there. You're just going to want to be a little elevated green position, you could say. We're going to see a couple different shots. We're going to most likely this turnover from Kirby that's going to be landing right near the basket. Oh, and getting that roll away behind.
It almost bounced into the basket. It would have been pretty sweet. This shot really opened up. Right here in this initial gap, there was one tree that was just dead center in the middle there, right where you're trying to throw any kind of decent shot. So now that that tree fell, I actually think that the hole's better. I think it's a cleaner, more legitimate disc golf line off the tee. So not a bad change, but just kind of a product of trees falling down, nature.
Yeah, the winds get really crazy here in Fenwick. If you've ever been playing around and the winds kind of start getting going, branches falling, a lot of change happens.
Yeah. That was a really, really good forehand from Ryan. Got pretty far down there. I think just a little more flip and he's parked.
Here we're going to see you pretty close to where Caleb was, right near that big tree, just looking at the basket pin high. Just comes up short.
Yeah, just a little short. It's all right, though. Caleb and I are now kind of talking about him and what he's got to do to chase down Schrock in second place because we're starting to...
Dang. Okay.
All right. Banks told me that I almost missed, and I did not almost miss. That was super clean.
Gaslighting Banks. We had two birdies on the day for hole 14. Shout out to Jason Kenway and Tyler Schrock, the Fenwick boys.
Yeah. Hole 15, one of the tougher par 3s on the course. They're all par 3s, but one of the tougher holes on the course. 360 feet, double Mando, so you got to really pierce this tunnel and then let the disc finish pretty solid to the right. I really liked that. I was getting some late flip out of that disc that I was really, really happy with, but just kind of got that middle guy, and he's the one you want to dodge and one you want to avoid.
And Caleb getting over on that forehand, just going left of it, and a little low, a little short, a little burned over.
Really nice looking line now to Ryan. Get some solid. Here's the thing that's really deceiving about this hole is he got some solid left to right skip and movement, but he's actually just going to be really, really straight of where the tee pad is and have a pretty difficult birdie putt from there. Pretty short right, so I'm going to try to challenge some of the bushes in there and try to give myself a look, give a little opportunity in the bushes.
Caleb lining up a high putt, trying to get also around all that foliage around.
Yeah, it's just so crazy how far the basket is so much more right than you realize off the tee.
Yeah, such a tee shot that looked like it would have gone so far right, still in two straight.
Yeah, at first we thought he was C1, and then we got up there and saw where he was, and everybody was a little surprised.
Taking a bogey on hole 15.
First bogey of the round.
It's got some strokes. Just can't be continuing that.
For sure.
Hole 16, par 3, 370 feet. Teeing off here, we're teeing off to the basket. When you first enter into Fenwick, you're gonna see driving kind of by parking your car by going across this bridge here in that little valley and trying to push it as far as you can straight. Really unique kind of gap to hit, and a lot of stuff guarding the basket down here.
Yeah, I think something kind of overstable or something pretty overstable you're throwing on Anheuser off the tee, and then letting it get over the bridge and start to flex out. Typically people are hitting the left gap that Caleb's hitting there. A little too much angle and just kind of getting it burnt into the ground. But he's past the bridge, so he will have a pretty routine up and down.
Yeah, we'll see a forehand here. Gonna be asking the disc to work. Yeah, beautifully.
That's a crazy gap for him to hit. That gap is so small.
Really, really crazy gap to hit to get that turn up and disc pushing looking like it's going towards the basket here. And we're gonna see you getting the disc out there, getting a nice gap up there and getting across. Looks like it gets slowed down a little bit, but plenty of distance down there.
Yeah, I was worried I was gonna hit that first tree covered in ivy, and then barely missed it. And knew once I passed that tree, I knew we were cool.
And that's the worst shot Caleb Joyner's ever thrown.
You know what's crazy is I heard that is the worst shot Caleb Joyner's ever thrown.
I didn't say it.
You didn't hear from me. I don't know. So.
Got obstructed looking putt lining up, but got a lot of distance down there. Easy up and down for 3.
It's pretty common for people to be in these trees over on the left because, like I said, if you're going to use a disc that's overstable and try to flex it out, you know, if it's going to hook up too early, you're usually going to be tight on those trees, and there's some spots over there that can be really, really difficult. So,
oh yeah, hole 16, no birdies in this round 2 again. 8 pars, 1 bogey on the day.
Yeah, the wind was up a little bit, so I don't know that I'm totally surprised by that. Hole 17, 340 feet. This one also has 2 Mandos. That marked tree right off the tee there, and then these sign to your right as well are going to be Mandos. Basket is going to be just past this down tree and past that bush there. I believe that's a laurel. If your disc comes to rest just in front of that tree, you are going to have about a 30-footer that's not especially kind to you. And Ryan's going to try to cut the corner a little bit here. He's going to try to go just past the Mando and kind of use the empty airspace that's in like 5 and 6. And just a little too low, a little too burnt over.
Yeah, ambitious shot, trying to kind of cheat the hole a little bit and get that easy distance there.
I think it's a matter of just not having a great round and, you know, just trying to do something. So I went with a Sea-Line Glacier. Caleb's going with a Horizon Sea-Line PD. Yeah, he fell a little early. I didn't hate my shot. I kicked a tree and just kind of kept going forward, so I didn't really get the hyzer that I wanted to out of it, but we still have a kind of a weird little putt here.
Yeah, obstructed, but still giving yourself a chance. And oh my God, getting it to go. Kirby running it in. Look at all the stuff you have to run through, the path you have to even take to get there, all this stuff there. So, great putt.
Thanks. Look at that sweaty back. Yeah, that's probably my best putt of the weekend. Afterwards, when I saw Caleb, he was like, it's a lot easier to putt when there's no pressure, huh? And I was like, you got that right, buddy. So he's pressing right now. He wants to catch up to Schrock, and I believe, I think he has to birdie hole 18 to tie for second at this point. So
yeah, got that one there. You and Kirby, you, Caleb, and Bjorn Penny. And we got hole 18 wrapping it up for the day. 225 feet, par 3. One of my favorite holes on the course. A great ending hole, also ending by the parking lot. That elevated basket's definitely the biggest kind of tricky part of this hole. There's a sloped, big kind of death putt you have to run if you're on the certain side of it, and if you're on the other side, it's even more elevated. So you're going to see a lot of like kind of hyzers that are going to be trying to stall out into the basket. Something soft.
Yeah. Most commonly, you see people just out driving the hole because you want to beat that tree, but just barely. So it's easier just to kind of push it a little long than it is to be a little too tight and inside.
Caleb pushing it long, we see.
Yeah, pretty common miss. Just yeah, like I said, you don't want to be short. Because short's really, really difficult, and it could lead to some really bad numbers. So this one's very long. That's almost in 16's fairway over there. Shout out Corey. It's good seeing him out there, man. He's been through some health stuff in the last year or so. So good seeing Corey and Delilah, such a little cutie. want to give another shout out to Tyler Schrock and Jim Hansen for hosting this event for everyone. It's one of my favorite events of the year, something I look forward to. So big thank you to them. One of the interesting things that they had on 18 was longest putt, and Caleb just set the longest putt with that one. So huge par save. Yeah, that was awesome.
The dangers of running that putt, you get down there and now you just get to hit that.
Yeah. I asked Chuck ahead of time, my caddy, the GOAT, I asked him, I was like, do I lay this up? And he's like, no, you run this and you make it.
Yeah. Run it, make it, cash. Your 3-time TerRon Open champion, Kirby Snyder.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I shot the hot round, round 1 and round 2, so that felt really cool. Those 2 birdies at the end were to beat Schrock out for the hot round, so solid weekend at disc golf, and just one of my favorite places to play. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler Schrock.
Last card here as we finish. Want to thank everybody for coming out for the 6th annual TerRon Open. And really quick, I'll congratulate our MPO winner and 3-time TerRon Open champion, Kirby Snyder. All right, Kirby! Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to Schrock and everybody that does all the Fenwick stuff. Jim, Jason, Pirate, and Ron. Thank you to all of them. You guys, this course looks so amazing. Thank you to Justin Banks for being out here with Fairway Media. Really appreciate all the stuff he's done this year. He's really worked overtime, so give him a big follow, big congratulations. Thank you to my sponsors, Discmania, Emerald City Discs, and Swamp Cow Kava Bar. And thank you to all you. Appreciate it.
And thank you to Ollie. Man, appreciate you being out here. And a very special, very, very special thank you to the GOAT, Chuck Knudsen, for being on the bag all weekend. I appreciate him so much.
Yeah, shout out everyone getting out there and everyone competing. Love to see it. Honestly, one of the tournaments on my list next year, for sure. This was a KO Disc Golf Show commentary. We appreciate being here. Thank you to Fairway Media.
Thank you so much, Banksy. Appreciate you, man.
We love you, Banksy.
Yeah, give us a follow. I am Darkwing Disc on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
And I'm the Fairway Finder. And this is Fairway Media.